I like to think, and tell me if I'm wrong. When we start up and your fucking mic is all wibbly wobbly and you got to crank knobs, I assume you're working on music stuff. Is that correct? Or does it
Yes.
just get tangled up?
No. Yes, it means at some point I was working on music stuff. But
See, that makes me happy.
Today I usually get some time, and I was breaking down pitching mechanics to my wife, and so my 9-year-old was still playing Fortnite, and it was 7:58, and I was like, "Oh, you gotta get off! Quit the match! You gotta go!"
Yeah, I saw that. I was ready to go, and it said playing Fortnite, and I was just like, I know he's going to tell a tale about how it's his boy, but I know it's Jim playing Fortnite.
I played about 14 minutes of Fortnite when when Endgame came out. They had a special promotion. I don't know what to call it, but it was like instead of a battle royale, it was like wave spawning, and you were either an Avenger or a Chitauri, or one of the bad guys was Thanos.
Oh, I remember that now.
And that was fun.
Yeah, fucking Thanos was just in their game.
Yeah. Well, so was, Hawkeye, Black Widow,
that. Yeah, that was nuts.
And
then they just stopped doing it, which stinks.
Because the promotion was over. It was probably a limited time thing.
I mean, there was something there.
So, there's a skin. I forget what they call it. I forget the name of it. But there's a skin that purposely looked just like John Wick, but wasn't called John Wick. But it looked just like him. It was like an early skin, like probably right when it went to Battle Royale mode. But now they're big time, right? And they have official licensing with Avengers and all that. Now they actually have John Wick in the game. Like it's legit John Wick. It says John Wick.
Nice. Yeah, John Wick's in what is it? Payday, that heist game.
Okay.
He's just a skin in that, and it's fucking awesome. So they're very willing and open to make some money.
Before we get into the real stuff we're gonna get into, I'm guessing we're gonna talk about John Wick 3 because you've seen it. I haven't. Game of Thrones is over, but
yeah, that's probably the big boy.
Let's talk about youth baseball. So I coach my 9-year-old's youth baseball team. They won their first game all season. I think they're like 1-6 now. They were up by a lot. The other team caught up, but they ended up scoring again. They won 9-7.
Insurance runs.
Now, the way this league works, it's like 9 and 10-year-olds. It's like 3rd and 4th graders, a couple of 5th graders, because their birthdays were on the cusp, right? But it's still little kids, and there's one umpire behind the plate, and that's it. There's no ump out in the field. So they get calls wrong. I don't want to say all the time, but there's some calls they just don't have an angle on, and it's fine. It is what it is. Now, they won handily tonight. They outplayed that other team all game. The other team is legitimately, formally protesting the result of the game, and their reasoning is the umpire was bad.
The umpire was bad.
Now, when you formally protest a game, it's usually like, look, you clearly violated this. Like there's a rule where they can only score 5 runs in an inning. And there was one time where the home team was like, no, we can keep playing. It's the bottom of the last inning, so we can keep scoring more than 5 runs. Turns out that's not true. So they reversed that decision, right? Because they said, okay, well, even when they got to 5 runs, they still lost. But this is just like the reasoning is just in general. He was calling everything for you and nothing for us. Like
man.
And I'm like, these are little kids, man.
That's a bad example.
Isn't it?
It's a terrible example. And it's funny how it's youth shit. It's always the youth, everybody gets the trophies, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
This is that same realm, that same universe. But this time we're protesting kids. Why, coach? Because the fucking umpire is just shitty, right? Right? Jason, you think right? It's not just coach, right?
There was a particular play that they argued during the game. The only one that they actually argued during the game. And it was a play at first base. One of our guys hit the ball, ran it out to first. They made the throw. The foot didn't come off the base, but the umpire said the ball didn't get in the glove clean, like it was on the ground still. It was like bobbled.
Little bobble.
And he never changed. He never wavered on that. They're like, his foot was on. He's like, yes, I know. He didn't have control of the ball. He's out, or he's safe. The batter's safe. Even if you take that play and say reverse that call, our team still won 8-7.
Mm-hmm.
Like the bottom, our team, the back's against the wall, the pressure's on, right? They'd gone from 8-2 lead to a 9-7 lead.
Shit.
And they were the away team, and it's last bat for the home team. Okay?
It's exciting.
Our pitcher's on the mound. Our starting pitcher pitched unbelievably. He's so good. And he's like gotten so much better. The pitcher that's on now,
it's my son.
No. The pitcher that's pitching at this point in the game that I'm describing is also really good. Second best pitcher, it's pretty clear, right? First pitch, fly ball to the shortstop. Now at this level, you're not cheering at this point. You're holding your breath.
Yeah, it's not a guarantee.
One pitch, one out. Shortstop catches it. Next batter. Next pitch. Fly ball to third baseman. He's already dropped one this game.
Oh, man.
The inning before. Catches it.
Redeem.
Holds on to it. 2 outs.
Big redemption.
Third batter. Not on the first pitch. There's a couple pitches in this at bat. Grounds it to the pitcher. Pitcher throws it to the first baseman. Everyone caught the ball cleanly, and which is also nice at this level. It's not there are no gimme plays. They get out of the inning. To see all of that go down and then go, nah, let's take it away from these little kids. This team that we beat 13-2 earlier in the season, the only team that has not won yet, that really put it to us and earned this win. Let's protest the result of that game. I told my kid, this same ump called a game that we lost, and my kid was sort of whining after it. He was calling for the other team. I said, no, he wasn't. I pointed out specific plays. There was this play, there was that play, there was that play, there was that play. So you guys just lost. They outplayed you. That's how I am. Now, I also told him in the car, it was just us. It was cool because it was just me and him in the car on the ride home. I said, even if they called everything for the other team and got everything wrong against us, I would tell you privately in the car that I was disappointed about that. But I would never argue the call out there on the field, and I would never protest the result of the game. That's only going to make the kids feel bad. So
yeah, he's terrible.
If this formal protest, it's probably not going to go anywhere, right?
No, they're going to be like, Jerry, calm the fuck down.
Well, they're going to say like,
See you
okay,
Saturday.
What do you have proof? Like, how can you overturn? Because then you have to try and say like, not only did he get these calls wrong, but then you're giving them pretend runs or something. Like, and we would have won. It's not like it's not like, oh, they scored 6 this inning and you can only score 5. We're taking that run away.
Okay. All right. 2 things. One, I would spin this to the kids, my own team. Like, you gave it to them so bad that they have to do this as like a defense mechanism. Like, that's how bad you fucking got them in that last inning that they're doing this. And do you think that the coach, like, is your team like just the fucking Bad News Bears where it's like, we can't fucking lose to them? So he's trying to save face with his kids. Like, no.
I would say at the start,
because they're embarrassed.
No, it's at the start of the season, we were probably that team, but against the best team in the league, 2 different games now, we've had the lead. The one game we were within 1 run for most of the game, and the other game we had the lead 2 different times against the best team in the league, which is not this team, record-wise. So no, like everyone can see. You watch it on the field, like you can see that they just got beat. Like we just outplayed them. And it just breaks my heart. And I swear to you, if this gets reversed, we are going to have an ongoing saga on this show.
This feels like early Act 2 of a very fun, heartfelt, yet dramatic Act 3 movie. You know, I can't wait to see this 3-act film. So they're going to reverse the shit out of it. I'm calling that right now. They are reversing that.
Okay. They better. They've got. It doesn't make sense because they have no grounds to. Like, the
It's all
umpire was
political,
bad.
Jim. It doesn't matter. They know Jerry. It's done.
I'm telling you,
It's his brother-in-law.
I will be giving you that Alex Jones shit if they do reverse it. It's the black helicopters. They're the lizard people. Reverse the call. Like, you are going to get that if this happens, but I don't think it's going to happen. But until it's final, I'm going to be like really mad. And my team won. They played so
and you
well.
know what? Even if
Everybody
they
made
do
plays.
reverse
Everybody got hits.
Even if they reverse it, each kid, it's like, hey, we still won. They can write what they want on that paper, but you know damn well, and don't tell your parents that I just did a swear, but we won. We won that shit. Also, don't tell them about that one.
They played really well today, and I just wanted to, if nothing else, end with that. They played really well today, and I'm proud of them. And they got the monkey off their back, you know?
Was that like the mascot?
No. No, they won a game.
I like these little league conversations.
Well,
it just
not little
reminds me
league.
of,
It's not little league. It's just
pre little league.
Cal Ripken level of Babe Ruth.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
So what it means is Little League Incorporated is expensive to run a league in your city. But Little League,
to have
Little
the
League
name?
is like Kleenex, right? Like you mean tissue.
Holy shit! Is it really?
Yes.
Holy shit!
Little League is a brand name. So a lot of these towns don't have real, like, genuine Little League. They have youth baseball, and they use Cal Ripken rules or whatever. But it's not technically Little League.
See, now that's the bigger story. I had no fucking idea.
Yes.
That it was just
Little
a brand.
League is an incorporated company.
Copyrighted. Fucking. That's nuts.
The logo, the Little League World Series, all of that.
All right. That's. I'm excited. I'm excited to know that tidbit.
Well, I'm glad.
So I know we do plugs at the end, but real quick, you guys are doing a Dad Bod show Friday the 24th. Is that correct?
Yes. This feels more like a deposition, but go ahead.
And it's located at 350 Brewing.
That is correct. Tinley Park, Illinois.
Okay. What time do you guys go on?
I can't recall.
God damn it, that's the only answer.
No, I'm trying to do it like a deposition.
You fucker.
The show starts at 6.
Okay.
You never say no. Don't tell me.
Well,
I'm not saying what time I go on in the public. You want to ask me off the air, off the show.
All right, Jesus.
Tell you, but the way you work the crowd is you tell them the show starts at 6.
And you're doing that as a nice thing for the openers. You know, you give them that rub. Like I told people to get here so they can see you too.
You got it.
Because I respect you. Now get the fuck out of my
you want
fucking.
people already settling in before you start. You don't want people coming in 3 songs in.
Right.
Now, sure, maybe they'll stay the whole night. That's fine. But as a performer, you do put care and take time into the set list and stuff, and you want people to see the whole show.
Yeah, it's got a flow, and if you come in late, you're missing part of that flow.
Yeah.
Well, I won't be there until after 9.
We'll be there.
All right. Because that's not the place that closes at like 9:30, is it?
That's Hailstorm.
That's Hailstorm. Damn, man. I don't know. I still can't wrap my head around why they close so early. Laws.
I don't know. I would imagine it has something to do with liquor license or laws or something, but I don't really know that for sure either. It could just be they want to get out of there. Maybe they were open later before, but usually liquor licenses are given out and there's a time. Like in the city of Chicago, there's like a 2 a.m. license and a 4 a.m. license, and I think other towns do it similarly.
And they took the frugal route. They're like, we're going to do the 5 p.m. liquor license.
Yeah,
please.
like I don't know if there's a different if you say I'm not open past midnight, then technically I'm not a bar or something. I don't know. You know, like there might be some licensing loophole. I don't know this. I would assume that is the case, but it could be that they just notice this is when we're busy, and we don't really get busier after 10 because we're not really a straight up bar. You know, they don't serve hard liquor, and they don't really serve food. It's not like a dance hall. It's not a discotheque.
A discotheque.
So maybe that's just it's not worth it for them to stay open later.
Makes sense. So okay, yeah, I'm gonna be a little late to that. Doing some shopping, trying to get something for our buddy Torrid, which I love. I just love saying that out loud because
Torrid.
I was at the mall, and she's like, "Who's this for again?" I was like, "It's for fucking Torrid." You know,
And she's
just
like,
I just love saying it loudly
she's
in
like
a Spencer's.
the clothing store. And you're like,
For
I'm
Torrid.
sorry, no, no, that's his name.
All right, so let's get to the big boy here. Game of Thrones. It's fucking over forever. It's done.
It's done. Are we spoilerific right now?
Yeah, we're gonna go spoiler. We're gonna assume you watched it, and if you haven't,
Spoilerific.
this is probably the time to probably just kill this episode of the podcast because it's probably gonna go the distance.
Yeah, because you shut it down. We're gonna do Game of Thrones talk. Shut it down if you haven't seen
Shut
the
it
last
down.
episode. Because
See you next week.
even if we get past it, we'll be. You never know. We could start
Yeah,
talking about it again.
Yeah. So yeah, next week it will be fun. We're gonna talk about the fucking show at 350 Brewing, and
the
later.
show at Beer Geeks. We have show Beer Geeks.
Oh
on
fuck, that's
Saturday.
right. Damn, busy boys.
Yes.
Game of Thrones is over. There's been a lot of backlash this whole season. People signing petitions and shit, which is always just
Come
a
on,
riot.
man. Just don't.
I
Can you
love
just
those.
just not like it?
If I found out someone I know like signs shit like that,
We can't talk anymore.
oh, I think we're done here, bro.
I can't fuck with you. Yeah, that's
So,
rough. That's rough. Like,
It's
what maybe we'll talk just in general too about how you feel, how I feel about this last season. I know some people are invested in it more than I am, even though we've seen the same amount of episodes. They've been with it since it first aired. Like I got into it late. So like time-wise, I put the same amount of time into watching the episodes, but sort of the actual time of waiting from start to finish, they've got way more on me. So I get that. So in general, I'll start with just this general observation. I felt like after watching the last episode and the 6 episodes that this season was, I felt like they were really sure what they were going to do for the last half hour, and then they were really sure about that battle, and then they were just trying to like fill in time because there wasn't a lot happening. I felt like the battle scene should have been the season ender, that whole battle episode, and then your next season is what happens now. What happens with Cersei and Daenerys? Like what happens with all that? Give that a season's worth.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best way to go about it because I would agree. Rushed. That's what people keep saying. It was kind of rushed, and I'm like, yes, that's the word. 'Cause after that battle, which we talked about, and they jobbed out the Night King, everything just happened real quick, and it being 6 episodes was probably a big part of that. And just seeing the characters fast track their booking Vince Russo style to the finish, it was just weird. It was just a little bit off.
It was. We were there. There was a chunk of time that gets cut. Like I'm not even sure how much time transpires in this particular scene in the last episode.
Yeah.
Which is, I'm sure you know the scene I'm talking about. From they lock up Tyrion.
Oh yeah.
Jon kills Daenerys.
It was
Then
2
they
weeks
bring
or something.
they bring Tyrion out, and you're like, well, is this tomorrow? Is this?
Yeah, they started doing that like a season or 2 ago when they would fast travel over the oceans.
They're fast traveling. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, it is always unclear.
Oh, they've been fast
with that shit.
traveling for a while. Yeah, I get you. Like they're like, oh, we'll never make it there in time. Like you'll make it there by the end of the episode somehow.
Yeah. So let's back up to the penultimate episode, Bells, because that's the one where people really got upset because this is post battle of with the Night King. So now it's like, all right, let's get this Cersei Dany shit. How's this gonna pan out? We got 2 episodes left. Well, here's the second to last one, and then like Danny, I don't know. People say she turned heel, that she's evil,
Turned heel.
villainous. Yeah, I just well, she slaughters all those people,
Yeah, but I
you
mean,
know.
she is who.
So they try to take King's Landing,
Mhm.
you know, and Tyrion's just like, all right, if they ring the bells, that means they gave up. Stop fucking killing people. The capital's ours. We'll imprison Cersei. Blah blah blah. We'll do all that good shit. And they fight, and it's a good little battle. The dragon's doing some real cool shit. Love the dragon, and they start ringing the bells. They tap out, and Danny, and a really good scene, really good shot where she just looks angry and just full of rage. And she says that she's like, you know what, John, they love you, but they fear me. All I have here is fear. Um,
And then
and
she's
so they
like,
ring.
okay, so fear then.
Yep, and she chooses fear real well, because they ring the bells, they tap out, but she does not give a shit. She keeps the hold locked in real deep, and
Mm.
just destroys King Landing with this dragon. She fucking mows the lawn
Yep.
with like a fire breath. All right, and we're done. The whole, like, children, women, elderly, it didn't matter. Everybody got it, and yeah,
Um,
crumbled the castle there, and
I
fucking killed Cersei and Jamie. It's just done. It's a wrap.
to their credit, the show makers, Martin, the screenwriters, all that stuff.
Martin.
Martin, they sort of, the people that are upset because they also believed in her, like these characters did, and she also was just fucking crazy like she has been this whole time. And now you're like, oh well, now someone's got to actually do something about it, because, like, you know, she's been justified a lot in like being a murderer. But now you're like, oh, I can't back that. I think we're done here, bro. We can't let this
Yeah.
keep happening. Am I wrong? Like, it's not like she all of the sudden she was this really nice, merciful queen, and then snapped and killed everybody. You didn't
Yeah,
see the snap.
she's always been kind of doing it.
Here's what I thought, though. Here's what I thought was going to happen, because he mentions the bells at least twice, if not
800 times.
right, at least twice, probably more. So here's what I was thinking, and my wife Chris, she agreed with me, and we thought this was going to happen. She was gonna finally, like, okay, I'll show mercy on Cersei, because mercy on Cersei was not going to happen. Mercy for Cersei. So we thought the bells are going to ring, but it's a trap. The bells are going to ring, they're going to stand down, and then they're going to have one of those
Ooh.
cannons and shoot the dragon down, and then she's going to be really pissed, and then she's going to really snap on Tyrion and want to kill him and all that stuff. But that's not really what happened. The
That
bells
would've been
rang because
great,
they're
by
like,
the
no,
way.
for real, we for real tap out. Now Cersei didn't for real tap out, but like, which I knew she was never gonna really give up. But I thought, man, wouldn't it be some shit if she's telling them, no, look, no mercy, we got to fuck these people up, and they're like, please, just if the bells ring, stop. I thought she was going to, and it was going to be a fake stop. I thought it was like Jamie turned on him, and Jamie's like, look, they know if the bells ring that we surrendered, but what if we really don't? We ring the bells, and then we hit him with this Greek fire. What was their version of that? The green shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that. But that's not what happened. She just mowed everybody down. So I thought it was going to be come into play in a different way, and it just didn't.
I don't mind the choice, you know. I don't mind that direction at all, and it really doesn't matter if I do or don't. But it was rushed a bit, because I think it's what led it there with all this Jon Snow shit. This
Yeah.
was the season of, this is
I
my
don't
queen.
want it.
Oh, my queen, I love you, my
queen. I don't want it.
I don't want it though, my queen. If I had to hear my queen and I don't want to be king, I don't want it.
I don't want it.
I don't want it. Like, that shit
Don't want
drove
to be
me
king.
fucking. My queen, I don't want it. It was terrible. The whole fucking season of that.
I wanted them
would
to
start
make him
cringing.
king just to piss him off, because he's irritating me. Like, I don't care if you want it. Deal with it.
My queen, she's my queen. Tyrion, she's my queen. Oh, that shit drove me nuts. So for her to, you know, be in love with him and this and that,
First
and
of all,
then
I don't get how are they in love? That's what I don't get. He
that was
he's
something that also got
saw her for
fast
like
tracked
4
real good.
minutes, and then all of a sudden, and they banged, which is fine. Like, if you're Jon Snow, you see that. If you're her, you see that. Yeah, go for it.
Sure.
But they're like, no, no, no. He's like, no, I love her deeply. Like, dude,
Yeah,
How?
exact. And you know what's fucked up? They did it in this show like 5 seasons earlier with Egret, the redheaded wildling chick.
Yeah,
Like
I think
that
it
was a
was.
nice little. There was some chemistry. It built up over time
Yep.
in world time and in episode time. It was a little thing, and then it paid off. It was nice. This was just like, hey, how's it going? All right, I think I love you. I love you, my queen.
And then
It was
Tyrion's
so
like,
dumb.
I'm in love with her too. Like, what?
Yeah, that was a weird line.
Like, why'd you have to throw that in there and make this To me, that's like it's gonna be in the books, and we're told he's.
Oh
Not.
yeah, that's gonna be a big subplot where Tyrion falls in love with Dany. Oh
Look,
yeah,
guys, it came in from on high. Moses is putting this on the tablets, and it's
Martin
got to
said
be
to
in here.
put in a line about Tyrion loving Dany just because that apparently that's gonna be a thing. When he's not writing about sausages and fucking pancakes and mead, he's gonna put that.
So yeah, I think we agree there for sure that love story, it felt hollow. Like I didn't feel like they were in love at any point.
Yeah, hollow. Good word for that. But the Dany turns because it surprised a lot of people. Like, oh, and it's fucking hilarious because I really wonder how the mothers that named their daughters Khaleesi and Daenerys, I wonder how they're feeling right about now.
Yeah,
because people are pretty hot at Daenerys.
A lot of memes about that. But honestly,
oh really?
Oh yeah, like the meme of the guy that's like looking and then looking away. It's like a cartoon where he's just like, it's like all the mothers that name their kid Daenerys. She's been nuts. She was nuts in season 1, and like she's justified a lot. She's a strong character, but like gets manipulated, but then gets out of it, and then like I'm gonna learn from that mistake. But I feel like the last 2 or 3 seasons, you see that side of her that doesn't have mercy. There's a side that is just merciless. Dracarys, bye, boom. Like, oh, really? We're Dracarys and now, right away?
Well, yeah, and once again, it's the execution, and it was the choice by the show because they had lines like, "Well, her friend just got killed." It's like, all right,
so what? Everybody's friend gets killed. Motherfuckers kill their own family and shit on this show.
Yeah. So for that to be an excuse by a character, that's not great. It's not great.
You know what it was? But she's so vain. I really don't think it was her friend just got killed. I think it was, you didn't bend the knee to me, bitch. And now you needed to. We fought. We went up there. We did what we were supposed to do. You stayed down here like a bunch of soft pansies. And now you're not even gonna bend the knee. And another thing that just bothered me storytelling wise is like, okay, they got all those ships. They got the Iron Fleet. They're armed with those. I forget the
Scorpions.
They're armed with those. They take a dragon down. So then I'm waiting for like the trick play. But the play is just, no, I'm up here by the sun. Oh, is that me? Yep, here it is. I'm burning you. I'm going from behind. I'm like, well, the other dragon could have done that.
Yeah.
Like
there wasn't yeah.
They just
there wasn't
went
an
for
evolution.
Like, okay, but how's she gonna get past all the ones at the? Oh, she just killed them all. She just dodged them. Like they put that dragon over way too hard. But what I thought was we were gonna see the rage. We were gonna see the full heel turn once those bells rang and it was a trap and she surrendered, and then maybe like the
it would have felt more justified.
Grey Worm dies, and then like a bunch of the Unsullied die, and she's like, "That's it, never again," and then burns the place to the ground.
It would have been more justified than her friend died.
Then she's just crazy. Well, yeah, I know, and I wasn't fooled. I figured that was going to happen at some point, and women and children are going to burn that shouldn't burn no matter what happened. But I thought, ooh, Jamie goes back full heel. People are gonna be pissed at that. They were pissed that he went to save his own kid, and like
Soldier.
essentially his wife is his sister. They're not really married, but like his life companion. People were mad about that. He should stay with Brienne. What?
Yeah.
That was never.
That's just the soap opera shit.
That was never in the cards. There was never a happy ending where he stays. He didn't even. He's not in love with her. He probably loves her as a person, and like I'll do her a solid and give her this D, but because apparently Jamie Lannister got a golden D. But him staying there, what? And it wasn't like you don't understand. She's pregnant with his baby. Even if he knows his sister's crazy and she's not going to surrender, he actually did what Tyrion said to do. Like, okay, she's not going to surrender. Convince her that you got to go, though, and sneak out the back door and just go live a life somewhere. And he tried to do that. He got the bells to. He went to. I assumed he was involved in the bell ringing. We don't really know. We don't see that. But he gets to her. He gets to Cersei. They go down the secret. He convinces her to come with. Look, we're gonna die. So that's not season 1, Jamie. You know, he's not going back. He's not going back out of cowardice or like he's going back to save his kid because he knows that Cersei's gonna die up there. So I don't get that. There was somewhat of a backlash on that. I don't get that at all.
Yeah, I think people just wanted those two to be happily ever after.
Like he didn't grow as a character. Like are you kid? Did you not watch anything else other than
yeah?
This
He took quite a trip.
God damn,
because he started as a shithead. He redeemed himself pretty good.
Window.
And then he
shoved a little kid out the fucking window.
I do love stories with what's that one fable? I've talked about it before, like the scorpion and the fucking frog or something, where the frogs or the turtle, something's carrying a scorpion across the lake.
It's a frog.
He's just like, you could trust me, bro. And he's like, I don't know, you're a scorpion. He's like, nah, it'll be fine. And then he gets him across and he stabs him. He's like, what the fuck? He's like, dude, I'm a scorpion. What do you want? I'm going to do this to you. I love that. I love.
Well, the story's even deeper because the scorpion gets on the frog's back, and he says, "I don't know, you're a scorpion." He's like, "Look, man, if I sting you when we're in the water, we're both gonna die. I'll drown." He's like, "Good point." Then he stings them while they're in the water, and they're both drowned. And he's like, "But," and he's like, "I'm a scorpion, man." So he doesn't even get him to safety, and then turn heel on him.
See, I made it a happier ending.
Yeah, he kills him in the water, and then they both die. And he's like, I am a scorpion.
I'm a scorpion.
Nature. Can't help it.
Oh, man. Good stuff.
He is a scorpion.
So
we got to see the mountain's face this season.
Yeah. So since we're talking about the Daenerys Cersei storyline, let's just talk about how that wrapped up. Because Jaime does show up as the walls are crumbling, and Jaime's all fucked up because he gets stabbed. He arrives, on the boat. Or something, and he has to fight what's his name? Euron Greyjoy.
Yep, old mutton chops.
And they have a little sword fight, which is nice. That makes sense because Jaime's been trying to work on his fucking offhand sword fighting.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets to see that.
He's admitted, and we've heard him say this lately. Like, look, I'm not Jaime Lannister that you know. Like, I'm a quarter of that guy. So we know he's not the Kingslayer anymore. And and we know Euron has been all up in Cersei, and he's going to be a little salty about Jaime showing back up.
See, and that's another character, Euron Greyjoy, who I think is fantastic. Mm-hmm. I think the character's cool. I think the actor's cool as fuck too. But he came out of left field, huh?
Yeah. Well, it was like the end of the last season, right?
Yeah, and now he's just a huge player in this. It was wild. So if it was stretched out a little bit, we would have been able to play with these people a little bit more. But what can you do? Jaime and Euron have a little sword fight. They stab each other real good. He gets Jaime mortally, but he's got a good half an hour left in the tank, and he stabs Euron right in the fucking chest, kills him. But he knows that Jaime's going to die. And Jaime goes to Cersei in the crumbling castle. and they go into the dungeon so they can hit the escape tunnel that Tyrion told them about, but it's all fucking crumbled shut. It's like, oh, we're
Mm-hmm.
trapped down here. And they have a little moment together, one last time, as the walls come crumbling down and killing them both.
But until we saw last night's episode, there were fan theories that Jaime didn't die. Jaime didn't die because they didn't tweet at him on Twitter. Maybe Jaime's alive. And then for a second, I bought into that shit because Tyrion shows up in the last episode, the aftermath. The dust is settled. He goes down there to see if they made it out. He sees that golden hand. And for a second, I thought, it's going to just be the hand. And he's going to lift up the rock, and the rest of Jaime ain't going to be there because that hand is, not part of him. But no, they're just dead under there, which is fine. I don't feel like, oh, you should have. I shouldn't have seen that coming. That's fine that they're both dead down there. I just, for a second, I'm like, oh shit, the internet was right. And
They're never right.
They were not right.
They're never right.
So they didn't make it out. They died. Baby's dead.
Yeah, baby's dead. She's dead. He's dead. Crazy.
Well,
but
push Bran Stark out that window.
But before that, she's got the mountain by her side, and that fucking little weasel guy, her hand to the queen, and he's just like, so queen, we need to get the fuck out of here because she's coming and we're gonna die. So they start descending these stairs, which reminds me of the opening of Skyrim because it's a little spiral set, and the walls are crumbling, all that good stuff. Great visuals, real fucking heavy metal, This is fucking fire, stone.
It is very heavy metal.
And the Hound shows up, and everybody gets what they've been wanting forever. We're gonna get Gregor versus Sandor. We're gonna get the Clegane Bowl. It's happening,
and we see sort of the I don't know. I was thinking of going for a good wrestling analogy, and I couldn't. But like, she's had him under the control this whole time. Gregor do this, Gregor do that, Sir Gregor do this. But he sees the Hound, and he's like, nope. I got to go kill that motherfucker. She's like, Sir Gregor, hello, Sir Gregor. And he's like, hold up. Something in my little RoboCop thing snapped, and I remember that I'm Murphy, and I got to kill this motherfucker.
Yeah, well, he kills the hand of the queen because he's just fucking...
He's like, Sir Gregor.
And he, first of all, he gives him a little smack, which right away I think kills him, knocks half his brains out, and then it's just the back of his head gets cracked against the wall.
He just melon pops that guy.
Fucking hell, that guy got insta killed.
And then Cersei's like, okay, well, bye.
Yep, she just tippy taps past both of them, and she has her moment with Jaime. But right here, it's the Clegane Bowl, and I never pictured it happening on a little staircase like that. But it was cool. Like I said, the fire in the background, all that cool stuff, that it helped it. And they start having this fight, and he knocks what's his name? Mountain? Yeah, Mountain. He knocks Mountains, right?
Yeah.
The big one? Yeah. His helmet off, and we get that fucking Vader scene because he was pale as shit. And I was just like, this reminds me.
His eyes, all we saw were his fucked up eyes after he died, and they brought him back to life. You never saw the rest of him, and he's got these weird veins and shit in his face, and
yeah, it was a very good monster / zombie look that they did, and he's just such a big dude. And they have a hell of a little fight scene. Now, what I hated, fuck, this bugged me. Probably because I had just seen John Wick, so I had seen it done right. The amount of cuts that they had in this fight were WWE levels, and not just cuts, but they would also cut back to, hey, what's Arya up to? And I'm like, no, we're having Clegane Bowl, sir. Excuse me, sir. Yeah. We're having Clegane Bowl. We'll get to Arya in a minute.
Yeah, what is that? And almost all the seasons in the making. Season 2, end of season 1, maybe. This has been set up for a long time.
And I don't know what rhythm that they were going for. Back and forth. What kind of story they were trying? There was nothing there, and they did themselves a huge disservice with the way they edited that. I'd love to see an edit where they just kind of fucking get rid of the Arya scenes and just the Clegane Bowl straight up. because you get invested in that. Like that's what people are on the edge of their seat for, not Arya just wandering around the city.
Yeah, that was another thing I didn't understand. I mean, I was really waiting for her to make an impact in that last scene of that episode, because they've been building up to. That's another thing. Like Clegane Bowl, they've been building up to this for 4 seasons or something. Well, for her, like wanting to kill them forever since the end of season 1, and then for it to just be like not even paid off in a different way. It's just like nothing. She just survives. She was going there to die. So was the mountain, or so was the Hound. And then I was waiting for a scene with her and Cersei. Like, here's another thing I thought. She's going to go to try and kill. They ring the bells. Surrender, surrender. We give up. Dany says, no. And then Arya's there to kill Cersei, kills her, and gets killed by the dragon just because nobody knows who's in there. And then Jon Snow finds out late. Like, all these other things are running through my mind all at once. Like, oh, what this? And then this could what if this happens? And, like, instead, she just was there and was trying to escape and then escaped.
She was there. The greatest ninja ever trained, I guess. Yeah, that shit did not pay off.
No, didn't. They could have paid it off
in any real way. Maybe in the books, once again, maybe in the books. But honestly, I thought Arya died at the end of Bells. I was the only person who thought this, and then, I mean, good for everyone else because they're right and I'm wrong. But because she like awakens in this stupor and there's nobody around except for this white horse that she rides off, into the clouds. And I was like, oh, she's dead.
Oh, the horse. I get you. Yeah.
And everyone else is like, no, she's going to go kill Cersei and Daenerys. Daenerys now. And I was just like, no, I think she's dead, guys. And I was very wrong about that. But I do think that would have been better. Or literally anything else.
That payoff, it's like, why have that thread throughout your story? And I can't really blame the show makers, because ultimately you have to assume 100% of like that last 20, 30 minutes is like, this has to happen because this is how it ends. Mm-hmm. But like when you're watching that, I know you hated the way they told Arya's story with the faceless men, all that stuff. But once she comes back from that, she is a bad motherfucker. And then she
kills the one Greyjoy or whatever the fuck he is.
She does a lot of shit, right? So then at the end, now I'm thinking, okay, so the Cersei thing didn't happen. She escapes. She sees what Dany did. And then, like, either she's going to see Dany killing Jon because Jon's a threat. Like, I kind of felt like that was coming. And then she's going to have to kill Dany. Or, like, she's going to go to kill her and Jon's going to do something stupid and kill Arya because it's my queen. Like, that's right in line with this dumb Jon Snow. That's right in line with what he'd do. Arya, you're my sister, but she's my queen. And he kills Arya.
I'm a Targaryen, so
So anything that involved her would have made sense. And instead, nothing. Not a damn thing.
Yeah, especially the faceless thing. Chekhov's face, right?
Mm-hmm.
We haven't seen her fucking do a facelift in quite a while. How about season 8? How about the last season of your fucking award-winning series? Just like pretend to be a guard for half a fucking minute.
Yep.
That's fine. I'll take it.
Or pretend to be Daenerys and give an order that's not real.
Yeah. Sways the battle. Sure. That would have been, How about any of this? Yeah, so disappointing. Some of it was good on certain fronts, but some of it like this, it's just like, this is why people are, a little unhappy. So yeah, the Clegane Bowl. Back to that.
Before we get back to Clegane Bowl, I'll give you an example of a Game of Thronesy thing that happened that I thought was cool, that needed to happen, and that made sense. The episode where it's building, they've been building up for several episodes that Arya and Sansa don't really get along anymore, and Littlefinger's got them turned against each other, and then how do you answer these charges? Lord Baelish. And he's like, me? Like, I didn't see that coming. And then Arya just cuts his fucking throat in front of everybody. Like that's the type of moment I was waiting for in this season, and instead I got 0 of those moments.
But they would give you moments where Arya would be like, "All right, poor people, we can't stay in this building. We got to get out of here. Follow me," and you're dead.
Yeah. Right. They would give you those. They would give
Which
you
I
those.
don't really understand the purpose of, because it doesn't really work with anything as far as her character goes.
Clegane Bowl.
The Clegane Bowl, so they're fucking fighting on the stairs, and it's cool. He's knocking his helmet
He's
off.
not selling
and
shit. This
Man,
motherfucker,
he's Hulk Hogan, right?
he is hulked up, and he's like, no, brother. Stab me in the eye.
This is like Hogan versus Virgil. You know, not giving you shit.
He was selling like Giant Gonzalez.
He's stabbing the Mountain in the fucking chest, the neck, and the throat. Nothing's working. And the Mountain gets those thumbs and he starts jamming them in the Hound's eyes, which we've seen before. And oh god, it's done very well. And then the Hound stabs the Mountain right in the fucking head with the dagger. There's a bit of a stagger, and the Hound ends up spearing the Mountain through the wall,
it's like
over
a
the
New Jack
edge.
bump.
Yeah, it's a scaffold match bump off the stairs.
That's the top
down.
of the arena bump.
Many stories into the fire, and he sacrifices himself to kill the Mountain. That was very satisfying. See, I keep hearing about that. Satisfying, dissatisfying. Some of it was, some of it wasn't.
I like
this.
that.
This I felt
It was
definitely
poetic.
was.
It's poetic because you felt like, because the Hound's going there, I'm not coming back. I'm going there to die. But then if you feel like if he goes there and the Mountain just kills him, that's not satisfying.
Here's the thing. No, I disagree. Because this is one of those things where they need to fight. They just need to fight. I don't care about the booking. I don't care who wins. It could be a squash. It could be a squash either way, or it could be a 20-minute fucking 5-star match. Don't care. As long they just need to fight. And you know what? We got it, and everything else took care of itself.
Now, I don't mean that he had to win necessarily. What I mean is, like, let's say that staircase scene, they have a good fight. They fight. They have it out. The Mountain wins. And then what do you do with the zombie dude after that? Like, there's nothing. You got nothing to do with it.
He could fight a dragon. He could fist fight a dragon.
No, he can't. He gets Dracarys like a motherfucker. So I felt like that was a good way for it to go out. The Hound gets to die, and the Mountain has an ending that makes sense.
Yeah.
I do wish. Did you? I'm telling. Maybe I'm the only one. For a split second, in the very last episode, Jon goes to walk up to Daenerys at the Iron Throne, and we see some rubble move, and it ends up being the dragon under the snow. For a second, I'm like, the fucking Mountain isn't dead. But that would have. Yeah, that would. I swear to you, that's what the first thought that went through my mind is like, holy shit, he's dieharding the motherfucking old last episode. He pops up out of the rubble and shit. Like, I don't die. What?
Yeah. I don't mind the dragon, that it was the dragon, because that was a cool visual too.
The dragon's like I know you. Okay.
Yeah. And you know he was just trying to rest because he just set that whole fucking city on fire. He's like, I'm going to take a little siesta.
Yep.
Okay. And he fucking earned it. So, yeah, let's talk about Jon Snow. My queen.
That comes up.
Yeah, that would definitely. But fucking Jon Snow doesn't want to be. I don't want it, my queen. This and that. It's awful. But he knows, like, she's taking it too far. We're trying to talk her out of being crazy, but it's not working. She wants to free the whole world. She wants to liberate every inch of the map. And he's like, oh shit. Oh shit. So she goes up, and there's a fun scene where she sees the Iron Throne for the first time. She goes up to it, she touches it, but before she can sit in it, Jon Snow shows up. They have a little moment. And he fucking stabs her.
I like the poetry of that scene, because in reality she could have sat on it and stood back up, and all that could have happened. Everything would have been the same on paper, right? But let's put a little poetic justice in there. It's like,
close.
I'll sit on this in a second. I'll be right back.
So close to sitting on the Iron Throne. You never did it. You destroyed the city, but you never sat in it. And you know what? No one ever would again.
Now, how do you feel about the dragon's reaction?
Oh, I thought it was great. I thought this whole scene was great.
I loved it. And now because of our shitty internet, I watched this scene several times because it would buffer and then we'd have to go back and buffer and go back. So I finally got to watch it all like in real time as a complete scene. And I think I came away with two things. I often wondered throughout this whole show, how smart are the dragons? Just because the dragons can't talk, it's not like they're just brown bears. You know, like they can fly and they can evade, and I think they're smarter
Yeah.
than an animal, but they're not like Tolkien. They don't talk and shit, right? But
Well, like some animals are just smart. Like, are they elephant smart?
I think they're even smarter than that. I mean, the dragon melts the throne. A dragon made the throne.
Maybe.
Melted all the swords together, something like that.
That
I think,
sounds good.
but I think the dragon can feel that Daenerys died because of that. She wanted that, and now she's dead. She finally got it, and now she's dead, and nobody gets that anymore.
Yeah. No, I thought it was good.
I mean, it clearly wasn't an accident. It just melted the shit out of that and flew away.
Mm-hmm. It was very close to being like cheesy and melodramatic. When I think a quick burst of fire, a quick melt job, a quick "fuck you, John," and a peace, I'm out. I think that would have been a better play. But the fucking music is swelling, and we're getting another shot of fire, another shot of fire. And I'm like, I get it. He's gonna melt it. It's gonna look super cool. Just fucking get to it.
Yeah, because you can't Dracarys him, and we know that, and he knows that. But he sure could have bitten him in half.
Yeah, I was just like, because this could go a lot of ways. John could fucking ride off with him. Who fucking knows? Maybe he'd be like, you know what? She was kind of crazy. I'm a dragon.
Yeah, I know that. And they talk about like, well, that's their mama, and it like,
mama,
not really. Like those fucking eggs didn't come out of her. Like I understand she raised them and everything, but they're dragons. Like she didn't lay dragon eggs.
Mm-hmm.
It's not literally biologically their mother, so it makes sense to me on some level that he didn't just like bite Jon Snow in half.
Yeah, and I loved like afterwards, like the fucking wrap up scene. They mentioned that what's his name, Dragon. They're like fucking the dragon. He was last seen east, real fucking far away.
Mm-hmm.
Like I love that they're keeping up with that. For some reason, I found that super interesting.
Well, yeah, you want to keep tabs on a wild dragon that has nobody to ride it anymore.
But it's like, where's he going?
Right.
Where the fuck is he going? And you got Arya talking about, I'm gonna go so far west the maps don't even cover it.
Yep.
Like that's wrong. Like that's cool, but that didn't.
But it didn't. And it's like I shouldn't have had to have gone in reverse and go, well, she killed the Night King. Like that's a big deal. I shouldn't have had to do that. It should have been like, yeah, go take your time off. I should have felt that right away.
And you know what would have been great? We were just talking about Arya using the facelift. This would have been the scene where she's doing some face stuff as Daenerys, and doing it to fake out Grey Worm, but he spots it a bit, because he's weird, and they have a little fight. But it's enough to get Jon Snow into the throne room so they can have that scene that actually happens. They could have done it.
He just walks in there.
There could have been so many ways to have Arya use her gimmicks. Disappointing. But yeah, Jon Snow, he stabs her. The dragon comes, melts the throne, says, fuck this, leaves. And
then we don't know what happens for a few minutes.
Yeah, we get a couple. And they do the fade to blacks like Return of the King.
Yeah.
They do fake outs. I was like, guys, we can't do this.
So part of okay, so what happens after this? Tyrion's been in prison.
Yeah, it's a wrap-up scene.
Because he's like, I can't be the hand of this. Fuck this. And he knows he's going to die. She brings him to jail. Jon Snow talks to Tyrion, then goes and kills Daenerys. So we see Grey Worm bringing Tyrion out. To be executed. We don't know why. I mean, I'm assuming it's like the next day, same day, something, right? He's in chains. and then they have this conversation with, Bran Stark's there, Sansa, Arya,
Little
some of the
little
lords.
council.
Sam's there, and Grey Worm's like, well, no, you can't. He doesn't get a say in any of this shit. He's a traitor. And then Tyrion just does his pitch. He has his table meeting and he pitches this idea of like, why don't we pick for a second there? Goddamn, when when Sam's like, why don't we let the people pick? I'm like, is this gonna be one of those fucking how a bill becomes a law? This is like democracy was born today. Like, oh no, don't do that. And then they laughed at him and they didn't really do that. But
I still think that was awkward.
yeah, I didn't like it.
Yeah, that political shit. The guy I was like, oh, like I get it, but come on.
I'm glad that they laughed at him and then they didn't do
Yeah,
that.
yeah, definitely. And I love because this is like we need to fucking pick a king or queen. That's this scene. Like, what's our future? We need to pick a guy.
Yeah, and if I'm Grey Worm, I'm like, wait, just can we fucking kill this motherfucker?
Yeah,
What do we do?
What
I brought him out here. Now he's in chains. I want to kill him, and he's getting you guys to pick a king. What? Hey, I got the army over here. I'm the master of war. I could fucking kill all you motherfuckers, and I'm king.
Ooh, War Master. God damn. That's a name.
He's the master of war.
He's the War Man.
He's got the whole army under his control, and then he's just like, okay, you got me. You get to pick a king.
Yeah, he's just like watching a coup. He's watching a coup in real time and just lets it happen. But yeah, this is the pit. We need to pick a king scene essentially, and everyone's making their pitches. I don't know who that guy was because there's too many characters in the show. but when that motherfucker stood up to be like, "I am an honorable man," and Sansa was like, "Uncle, you can go ahead and sit fuck down."
Just sit the fuck down. He just whacks his sword on the way down. Like,
yeah,
I fought in 2 battles.
That was great. So let's just talk about who they pick as king. And I thought that was interesting. I was like, "Oh shit, who do we got? What makes sense?" Boom, boom, boom. But before I could really see who was there, they go with Bran Stark is the king of the 6 kingdoms, not the 7 kingdoms, because what is it? Winterfell is going to be its own entity ruled by Sansa. Sansa's like, you can be king of that, but Winterfell,
like I'm your big sister and I will vote for you, but I get Winterfell and it's not one of yours.
Yep. And it just happens. She fucking gets that. And Bran Stark becomes the king, and the scenes that follow that are kind of yucky and weird and bad, unfortunately. Because they have the small council meeting, and that had its moments. But
and what's his name? Bronn.
Yeah,
he's the master.
Brothels.
He's like, okay, I bet on both. Now you paid me off, and he's the what is he? Highgarden. He's got Highgarden now. Now he's the master of coin. So I liked that he made it. He seemed like the type of character that's like, look, I'm going to make it out of this shit. He never once was like, for love, I'll do this for, like, he's like, no, yep. For me, motherfucker.
For me, to live and be
and at
rich.
The end, he was there at the table. So I thought that was neat. I like
it. Yeah, Brienne was at the table.
Mm-hmm.
Sam was at the table.
She finished writing Jaime's story in the book of all the different, what is that, knights? What do they call those guys? Knights? She wrote down that he died to save his queen. Like
some good stuff there.
We knew she wasn't gonna lie and just end, but we knew she was gonna try and spin it so no one thought he was a complete piece of shit forever.
Yeah.
So
people would read back on that and think that this guy wasn't too bad.
But yeah, Brienne was there. We got Towley is there. He's the Meister.
Yeah, and he brings a book that some other maester, some Grand Maester had written, and it was called A Song of Ice and Fire.
Yep.
I hate that shit.
That's a little exactly like There and Back Again or
It's
Lord of the Ring. Like,
and it's obviously by design. He's a big fan of all that stuff. But
well,
I
no
I
shit, he
hate
made his
seeing it.
name the same way.
So yeah. I was like, let's just speed past this part. I'm sure it plays beautifully in the book. It's probably very sweet, but seeing it on screen is like, it's called A Song of Ice and Fire. It's like, fuck.
Why do we?
Go.
We're like some kind of Suicide Squad.
Exactly.
Oh god.
Oh shit.
Oh, we had the Onion King. I was so glad he made it too, because he reminds me of my Uncle Joe, but tall. And he's always like made sense and logical and measured and reasoned and sort of funny. I'm like, I liked those people at that table.
He was a good dude. He's like, I don't know if I get a vote, but I vote for this. But that shit was great.
Now, Torrid's super hot that Bran Stark's the king, by the way.
It's, once again, we get to that satisfying or dissatisfying conclusion. There's a lot of threads to tie up here. And overall, who's going to sit on the Iron Throne, who's going to rule over the kingdoms is a pretty big one. And the fact that it's Bran Stark, the fact that it's Bran Stark, it definitely qualifies for I didn't see that coming. But
he's not hot that character. It's his argument is that he didn't do shit for a while. He's just been like sitting around, not doing anything, and then all of a sudden at the end, he's the king. Like I guess his argument is like there should have been more going on with this guy that is eventually going to rule all the kingdoms. But the way I look at it is like it's not Lord of the Rings. You don't want your Aragorn can't be the king at the end, right? It's sort of okay. Who's somebody that doesn't have an ego? It's not a power trip for them. Who's the only person that's like he probably doesn't beat off, he doesn't bang whores, he's not drunk.
It just leaves a bad taste in your mouth for a couple of reasons. But like even Sansa becoming queen, okay, I can buy that. Logically it makes sense, emotionally it makes sense. I would take that. There were definitely other options.
I think it made sense for Sansa not to be queen though, because ultimately, what the people up in Winterfell, what they wanted all along, is just leave us alone. Let us just be Winterfell. Leave us out of this shit. We're in the North, and that's what she got, Queen in the North. Like so that seemed poetic for me. Like this is how it was for thousands of years. It was its own little thing outside of the kingdoms. Let's go back to that. Okay, so I'm not saying I'm not saying I like the way they used Bran in the last season and a half or whatever, but it's just like if you can't put someone over too hard, like you can't make Tyrion king or something like.
Well, I think one of the things that's rubbing people the wrong way is this whole show since episode 1's been about lineage and, who has the right to the throne, who's the right. And then in the last episode, 10 minutes, they're like, let's just vote for somebody. It's like, well, shit.
And then they decide, like, we're going to vote. It was like 10 years, we'll come back or something. There was some time frame, and like, we'll come back and pick another king or something. So they're changing that part of it. But but it's weird. Like the Dothraki, they just go away. Dothraki just go away.
Yeah, they go away. They're gonna have their own little area.
Greyjoy just goes away, sails away with all the Unsullied. Bye. We're going to this other place that you said we could go to. As long as, what's the key thing? It can't be Return of the King. Can't be happy. It's got to be kind of bittersweet. So yeah, Jon did murder the queen. So I know you want to murder him. His family knows that he did the right thing. They want him free. The compromise is send him back to the Night's Watch.
Back to the Wall.
Which, then we get there. If I'm skipping ahead or whatever. But we get there.
No, this is the last thread. This is the last thread. This is actually how the show ends. This is how the series ends.
There's no Night's Watch. There's a couple of guys dressed in black. But the people from beyond the wall are there, and then they just walk into the woods. Like there is no more Night's Watch. Like it's like they played them. It's like they they got one over on him. Like, okay, well, you're gonna send him up there where everything sucks. Okay, that's fair. Like, just kidding. That thing doesn't really exist anymore, and he just wanders off into the northern wilderness.
That's a positive way of looking at it. That's not really not how the series sold it, though. Like they were playing gloomy music, and it was kind
Yeah,
of slow
right.
and
Yep.
sad. It wasn't like, you know what,
Well, he got to
this
be
might
with the
work
wild.
out after all.
It's sort of right. They weren't. I agree with you there, but that's just the way I looked at it. Is like he seemed the most himself, the most in his element when he was beyond the wall with the wildlings.
Mm-hmm.
And they took to him, and it didn't make sense, but they did. And it sort of flies in the face again with the lineage thing, like blood. He's a Targaryen by blood. He's not a Northerner by blood, or he's like half. He's like half a Northerner by blood.
Yeah,
but,
he's half.
But they took to him, and he treated them like people and not like savages beyond the wall like everyone else and all that shit. So he's like, it's supposed to be sad, but that's it kind of feels like that's where he belongs. Doesn't he feel out of place in all the when they're all doing the mumbo jumbo and the we're all lords and we're talking in a room and he's just in there and he's like, I'm just Jon Snow. I'm not a king in the north. What are you talking about? A king? So I felt like he ended up where he needed to end up. You put him on the throne, I would not have been happy.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, because that was definitely an option that was up there. I'm sure a lot of people thought that. They're just like, Cersei or Daenerys is going to get got because she's gone crazy when Jon will be king. And that didn't happen. And that's probably one of the major things, even if folks will admit it or not, that if they're really unhappy about this season in the series finale, that's probably why. That's probably a big reason why.
Like, not only was I wasn't unhappy that Bran was king, I also was not unhappy that Jon wasn't king. I sort of expected him to be king, but I didn't want him to be. I felt like that's not where he belonged as a person. Like, if he were a real person, not just like, what do you do with the character? I felt like his heart wasn't in it. That's not where he wanted to be. I felt like he really wanted to be with that redhead that he got killed. Beyond the wall.
But even if they like, we're gonna make him king, and then he just, makes being a king not a thing and goes to the fucking democracy route. You what you vote for it every 10 years. I told you I didn't want to be king.
They're just I think they're putting too much into Jon Snow that isn't there. I think ultimately what I love about Game of Thrones is all of these characters are people. Like they sort of exist beyond archetypes, and they all have flaws and things they're good at and bad at, and like it's just not. He's a good man. He's a good soldier. He's a good leader on the battlefield, but he's just not. He's not king material. I don't think he's not Aragorn. Mm-hmm. Everyone's just. I think people are just like, oh yeah, he's the Aragorn. He's not. He's not. That's where you fucked up.
That's where you fucked up. And yeah, I think that's Game of Thrones. That's the finale. It's all done. There's some great parts in there. There are some not so great parts in there. And yeah, if people like it, let them like it. If they didn't like it, just let them hate on it. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, but to ask someone to rewrite it is like the stupidest thing I've ever heard of in my fucking life.
That is quite dumb.
But get ready when those subscriptions start disappearing for the Game of Thrones prequel show.
I love because I watched it on the HBO Go, and
the
so
commercial
I fired
at the beginning.
Yeah, they're like, so coming out soon, like real soon. Boom, 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 boom. Like they were like, please.
The commercial starts with
around.
Almost verbatim. I'm trying to remember, but I think this is exactly it. We're just getting started.
Yeah, motherfucker, you've been around for 24 years.
They're like, please don't go away. Oh God. Yeah, they tried it with Sons of Anarchy. They're like, oh shit, yeah, we killed off all those people, and people still want more of that show, and we want money. We'll do a prequel show. Mm-hmm. I don't think it worked out.
And I think they're going to do some Game of Thrones spinoffs and shit, so we'll see how those work out.
They really do want to make the Silmarillion now. You joked with me before, but I think it's going to be like a show.
I don't know enough about it to guess if that's going to work.
It could work as a show. I mean, it could, like, people will watch it.
Oh, definitely.
If you're,
definitely.
they're gonna have to really write some stories in there, though. And he killed him, and he went down here and helped him, and then he did this, and she was born. Like, oh God.
That fucking first page is gonna be a whole movie.
Tried 15 times to read that. It's not even long, but it's just like notes about shit. And he was the father of him, and they had 3 brothers, and he had 9 brothers, and they ruled. I'm like, oh God.
Yeah, right there is just a 20-minute scene, though. They're gonna show them being brothers, and their family relations.
But
and
if you
dynamics.
play that, you play that shit again, people will pop.
Mm-hmm.
They'll pop.
Somebody looks at a ring a weird way.
Yep.
Pop.
They'll pop, man. They'll pop like that glass breaking.
All right, let's plug it up and get out of here. Follow me on Instagram at Dale Zawada, and check out Dad Bod Friday, May 24th at 350 Brewing
in Tinley Park, Illinois.
That's just my plugs, though.
You can follow me on Instagram at JamesJRMusic. You can follow me on Facebook at JamesJRSongs. Dad Bod is playing May 24th at 350 Brewing, Tinley Park. We're playing May 25th at Beer Geeks in Highland. Then we're also playing June. God damn it. I'll talk about the June shows next week because I can't remember if it's the 6th and 7th or 7th and 8th. Mm-hmm. But it's another back-to-back in a couple weeks. But all you got to worry about now, 24th, Tinley Park, 350 Brewing. 25th, Saturday, Beer Geeks, Highland, Indiana. We got you covered. Doesn't matter where you are. Come see us this weekend.
And that's going to do it for episode 72. Thanks for listening. I'm giving mercy for Cersei.
I am the mountain, and I'm ready to pop out of this rubble and take this shit by storm again. That's going to be the spin-off show. The Mountain Lives.
I'd watch it.
Yep.